put and placed in HR and much more on the records. So you could wear those white dusty coats and go and climb ladders in the registry. And the banks with 5,000 employees is not a joke. The records are so humongous. So I got lost. My first 2 years, I got very lost. But then in that experience, now I'm talking to people, doing relationship work, handling disciplinary issues as a junior person. Nothing, no formula anywhere. So no formula. But in my second year of work, unfortunately, the bank was doing a retrenchment. And I was, again, in HR that time. I was placed in the, what we call the compensation and benefits. So everybody who was leaving the organization passed through my desk. We were releasing around 100 plus employees. Over 80 of them passed through my desk, and I was quite junior. What was I doing? Calculating for them terminal benefits. And I did that very faithfully. But when I was talking to them, unfortunately, over 95% of them were unhappy. But she looked at me and told me, but Gabriel, I feel empty. And I could not reconcile. You feeling empty? 27 years? And you have what I can humanly consider success. Driving the best car, living in the estate in Nairobi. We are actually looking at you. I'm 2 years old. I'm looking forward to be like you. But you are feeling empty. And that's where my true meaning started. And it took me almost 10 years after that to actually be where I am today. I'll tell you my purpose generally because it's very clear. My purpose is very simple. It's just to be able to transform mindsets for purpose-led generational impact. As simple as that. So my purpose is not about the career, the professions, the investments, the businesses. Yes, I'm in that space. But my work in this space, in the world that God has given us, is purely to transform mindsets for purpose-led generational impact. So I'll give you some few background that will help us maybe navigate through what is happening currently, so that at least we are not lost. And I don't get that question again next time maybe we meet. I want to predict the future, and I will tell you the future is here. If you are a leader in any organization, the future organization is only redemptive purpose-led organization are going to be relevant in future. And I'll be telling you some statistics that are quite very shocking. And globally, the concept of purpose right now has been embraced across the globe. And I want you to go and research. Go to some of these big Fortune 500 organizations. You'll notice a thread somewhere. They actually drop in the vision statements. I'm a strategy expert and we do that. We help companies come up with visions, mission statements and all that. We actually drop in the vision statement from the blueprint. Some are even dropping the mission. And they are all collapsing in one singular on why they exist. And that is the purpose. Locally here, it's happening. Go and Google Isuzu. A company called Isuzu. You will not see any vision anywhere in their website. It's nowhere. It's strictly only the purpose. So, and coupled with this thread, employees keen to work with organizations that has something beyond. Employee was to be part of something that is contributing to humanity or contributing to the planet. So if we are reading purposeless organizations, I can assure you, you will struggle even getting employees tomorrow. It's a reality. Because employees have also discovered, I don't want just to work. Just to work. That's transactional. And we've all been patterned into a transactional space. They are trying to question and say, can I also, I want to be part of a big agenda. Who doesn't want to be part of something big? Everybody wants to be part of something big. And when you connect the dot to something big that is transcendent, employees actually want to work for you. So if you're a manager, you're a CEO, you're a director, that's a secret. anchor your organization in purpose, in fact, you'll attract the best talent. There are places where I run a HR firm and we do recruitment, especially for executive hires, managers, CEOs, and all that. There are people we try to negotiate with them. You're giving them a good pay, double the salary, but they're telling you, I don't think I believe on what these guys start for. And they refuse to take an offer. That's the current trend that we're having currently. So it's a trend and we have to be privy to, and it's something that, of course, we have to be able to talk in broad daylight. So that means we have to move away from what we call the traditional organization, like for board and even management, and start talking about not just questioning about what works best for our organization. I know most of us have been in meetings where we discuss strategies and all that, and that's the question you always try to, what will work for a selfish interest. But now we are saying what will work for the space, that is the human and the planet, that we are impacting. It's a paradigm shift by itself, even thinking about an organization. But then, of course, that is making organizations start looking for what you call paradigm shifts. Paradigm shifts are shifts in thinking and mindset. And companies have said, okay, I think we need to move from profit to purpose. I speak this in many boards. Many mindset people have forgotten why we are all entangled into one singularity of purpose and meaning. And God has made it that way. So your contribution, my contribution, create a whole being at the end of the day. So organizations now are trying to reinvent themselves to be anchored on purpose. And this is something, of course, if you go and research around, you'll find even currently, which I'm going to show you briefly, there's a new role, and for the executives I have here, the newest role in the C-level. We are calling it what? Chief Purpose Officer. In fact, it is the one that we are even giving the responsibility for what you call impact and sustainability reporting. For those who know about those ESG goals and all that. The role that report that as we speak, especially in the big entities, is Chief Purpose Officer. Not the COO, not the CFO, not the CHRO, Chief Purpose Officer. You go and look, and most of these big organizations, why are we getting this direction? So it's a paradigm shift, and it's going to take a bit of time because we have been patterned on some traditional mindset that has caused us to only think of transaction. Mindset shift to move from just doing things transactionally and to move to the direction of purpose. I won't really dwell on this. I think we'll be able to talk about that in another way. But let me tell you something that, of course, I like sharing. This I repeat it everywhere I go. How does a redemptive business look like? I want to give you a good Rayman language or a Rayman example. We all go and buy our clothes somewhere. So you can choose to sell clothes. You run a boutique, okay? And this I'm giving you is a true story. 2018, I met a gentleman. I'd hoped he will attend actually this meeting because I want to work with him as an evangelist. That guy sells suits in CBD. He has a boutique in short. But he shocked me. When I was introduced there, he first told me, Gabriel, I have nothing to sell to you. But I can see a whole, stock of suits, nice suits. He told me, yeah, thank you for coming. I have nothing for you today. And I thought he's playing with my mind. He told me, I can only look at you, but I have nothing for you. As we are used to when you go to a boutique and you just want to, try to fit everything, and then you just look for something closest, isn't it? Something closest. So he told me, Gabriel, I don't sell suits. I only do one thing. I dress people. I thought like I've gone back to nursery school. I don't sell suits. I dress people. Now, how many people are doing business in that kind of mindset? So what he's telling me is, my fulfillment is not when you buy something. It's actually when I see you are dressed on purpose. And you know what? He has even formed business processes around that philosophy. Do you know what he do? If you go and get a suit there, if it doesn't fit you to the centimeter, you're not going with it. But you know the traditional African, eh? The traditional Joroge. Hii pelekea vudi atakupunguzia. Him, if it doesn't fit you exactly, you are not taking it. I went home with no suit. I told my wife, nimeenda, nimepata suit karibu. There are thousands. I have gone home. I didn't have a suit. Because Joroge has refused to sell to me. And I had money. And he told me, I'm not in your money. But you know what? I sat in that boutique for less than 1 hour. He had already sold more than 50 suits when I was seated there. Because he's there to do what? Dress people. Not sell clothes or sell suits. So now look at those philosophies, methods, because this is what we are doing now in terms of the whole essence of this especially for organizations. For the customer experience, he's not looking just closing a sale. Sell fast. In fact, we always do business process engineering. Sell fast as much as possible so that you optimize costs. And then, of course, you're looking at sustainability is as long as they are product to sell. Do you know what you've been doing? You've been, first of all, creating products, then go and force it. Do you know that's why we have marketing departments, if you never knew? Do you know why we have marketing departments? We spend a lot of budget. Because you started with a product, now you're trying to push it. Not the other way around. Okay? It's a whole paradigm shift. Social impact for them is we can learn as a side hustle, not the core business. Now, redemptive businesses learn whatever impact they are doing as the core business. And that's the difference there. For transactional business is about shareholder get a dividend at the end of the day. We are not saying we don't make profit, but look at the other trade there. In fact, these people have more business profitability, more impact, but with a new paradigm shift. Question is, the CX, customer experience model out what? Purpose first. You may have seen that in our marketing. Modeling purpose first experiences. The opportunity for them in terms of sustainability is as long as there are people to, that's a different mindset. As long, not product, as long as there are people to dress, definitely I'm in business. That business is sustainable. Social impact is delivered through the core business directly, not as a side hustle. And of course, the profit and wealth mindset is that it is stakeholder ecosystem, not just the shareholder. Now, this is a paradigm shift. So here I've talked about the organization that is purpose-led. Of course, you can't run a purpose organization if you yourself, you are not purpose-led. Let me give you some few statistics. 2021, we had 1.5 billion searches on Google. This I can say with authority because I'm a data scientist. We scrapped websites last year in June. We had 1.5 billion searches on Google. People asking who to marry. They are not asking where my job is. They are not asking who will be the next president. June last year, 2021, one keyword they were searching on Google. How to find my purpose. At the heart of COVID, people are looking for meaning. And it's natural. You have a life. You have a meaning. But the challenge is the way of work and the mindset we have currently, it makes you, this is the last thing you think about. Until when you are 50s is when you think about, you want to go and serve community. Have you seen people when they are retiring? What do they tell you? I've worked for 40 years, then they want to retire by going to serve there? What were you doing all the other 50 years? Why you retire? How are you coming to serve the community at 60 years? Doesn't make sense. Are you telling me all the other 40 years you were not serving community? But the catch is, even education system does not support purpose-led mindset. It doesn't support. It's you to survive, Maslow. Survive fast. But for those I know, speaking to people maybe who are also believers, when God created you, He created you for a reason at the end of the day. So you are born already fully packaged, ready. What you do throughout your life is manifest. You discover it and do what? Manifest. Ephesians 2:10, you know. We are masterpiece. God's created masterpiece. So, and He has created it for a good reason, for a good work, to do some good work that He intended for us. So this is a serious pandemic. So people are talking about other pandemics, but do you know what? We have a serious pandemic than COVID. Do you know this is the reason why, and I'll give you the reason why we are very passionate about this. This is the reason why 87% of employees are unhappy. They wake up every day to do jobs they hate. You know that? It's not my research. Gallup News. 87% of the entire working population do not love what they wake up for to do. They are doing it for survival. To pay bills and, you know, just finance life. That's a reality. Why? The only time you can get satisfied and fulfilled is when you are aligned to your core purpose. So it's a serious conversation, my friend. There's no reason, there's no way 1.5 billion searches is just for nothing. No way. We are almost 7.8 billion population in the world. So we're talking about a very significant portion, almost a quarter, searching. Imagine there are those who are not able to access Google. So it's a serious affair, and that's a space that we are trying to feed in. Now, I talked about the Chief Purpose Officer. As I said, if you go and read Harvard Business Review, February this year, they say the new upcoming C-level role, besides the other ones that we know, is Chief Purpose Officers. It's a very serious trend as we speak. And I have known some companies that are already in this space that have already hired Chief Purpose Officers. Do I have potential CPOs here? That's an open vacancy. Just know how you can be able to transform your organization on purpose, and you'll be the next CPO. And this CPO is actually almost a CEO level, generally. Because it is the one driving why the organization exists at the end of the day. So you should actually almost be the CEO doing that. Sorry, I think this is not supposed to be there. So I want just to give some quick highlights as we wind up, just to now tell you why and what to expect out of this engagement. So, need to do something a bit more solid and also build an ecosystem. So that ecosystem is called PurposeVerse. PurposeVerse is a universe, kinda. So the PurposeVerse is just an ecosystem where it's everything about purpose. We want to reach a place where at one point we have various purpose academies in a way that before even a teenager go to do that degree. Grace, I think, told you that I started my CPA, I did CPA section. I don't know why you mentioned, and you are very categorical around CPA 1. And I never finished. I stopped there, and I never gone back, and I don't think I need it per se. But I appreciate accounting and finance at the end of the day, okay? It's because the way even people do their courses, purely gambling. The Joint Admission Board during our time, currently I think we call it what? The Kenya something, COPS or something. They will just sit down somewhere and choose for you to go and do bachelor or something, okay? So I've seen people, of course, living 10 years, and I've seen people coming to do their third master's, third PhD, but they are still lost. Why are they looking for an extra master's and a degree? They are still trying to find a sweet spot for themselves. And let me tell you, purpose is already inside you, and there's always a voice. Even if you achieve anything else in this world, that voice will speak to you up to the grave. Because you know that voice is the redemptive impact. Why? Let me tell you where the misconception is, misconceptions. Purpose is not something you do. Purpose is actually who you become. And I know that usually it's one of the hardest parts in my coaching. Purpose is not about doing. It's actually about becoming. I'll give you typical examples. When I study, I can tell you comfortably, Nelson Mandela never brought liberation in South Africa. He never brought liberation. Wangari Maathai never brought trees. Now the worst one, Jesus Christ never brought salvation. Very controversial. Never brought salvation. You can quote me anywhere. Jesus Christ never brought salvation. I can see some faithfuls looking at me and say, where's Asa? Where's Asa umepotea jia? We need to pray for you. Let me tell you the story here. They became. What does Jesus say? I am the way. I am. Not I came to bring. Nah. And that's why we lose it. Nelson Mandela became the liberation. He didn't bring, became. That's why his life and liberation is the same thing. Hipped, joined at the hip. And when I say that, my wife loves encouraging, and I always give her as an example. She should not say, I encourage people. If that is your purpose to encourage people, that's not, you don't say I encourage. You become the fountain of counsel, or you become the encouragement. I know you get what I mean here. So instead of encouraging, that's transactional. That's why doctors who are treating, but their heart is so far from what they are doing there. Because when you go on purpose, there's very little difference between what you're doing, what people say you're doing, and yourself. You become the thing. Okay? So if you're encouragement, if you do encouragement and that's what you do, you don't say my purpose is encouraging people. No. You say, I am the encouragement myself. So even come and look at me, you should be encouraged. I hope you get the mindset there. It's a whole paradigm shift. Okay? So if your work is to train people and coach people and give them knowledge and insight, you become the wisdom. Do you know even Jesus himself also again is mentioned here? He is the wisdom of. It's not giving. Giving now, that's transactional again. And it's because we are entangled on a very major challenge. We have been forced to, there's something we draw in three circles. The circle that is around doing, transactional, doing. There's another circle we talk about having or acquiring. Another circle that we call the being. Do you know why you are called human being? You are not called human doing. Sarah, Solomon. You could have called being human doing. So what are you? I'm an accountant. Huh? That's your purpose. No. You're called human being, and being is a continuous. So question for you is, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? That's the conversation here. And it's a serious affair. Let me tell you, people who discover their purpose, they don't need any external motivation anywhere. If you want to work with employees, make sure they discover their purpose. They are going to give you the best. Why? By fulfilling their purpose, they fulfill your. When I discovered that, let me tell you, in my last 2 employers, towards the end of my banking, and I went to insurance space, I never struggled. In fact, it was me partnering with my employer for impact. It was simple as that. Okay? So I know my time is up, so I will just quickly wrap these things up. So what we are doing is we've created an ecosystem called PurposeFest, where we shall be coaching people, transforming mindset, and making people at least being able to be purpose-led. For organizations, we are saying we want to make you purpose-first. So you're prioritizing purpose than the transactions. You don't quote a policy and a manual and those things I know we love. And in fact, I was talking to a HR director in Ghana 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me in Ghana, they usually stay a long of time after you lose somebody in terms of the bereavement period. You can take even 2 months mourning before the burial. So an employee lost the parent, but he didn't disclose to the employer that he has lost the parent. So 2 weeks, he's still coming to work every day, but the parent is already, they are preparing for burial, but he has not told the employer. So the HR director came to notice the 3rd week, just hearing from other people. So now the HR policy says that you should be given compassionate leave immediately. When if your parent passed today, from tomorrow, just go and bury your parent. So they were telling us now they were battling with, here do we quote the policy? Or do we become human-centered and talk about this person as an individual? Forget about and that's the direction. That's why we are saying, yes, there is process that is good, but that may make us also a bit very transactional. I don't mean that we don't have processes and SOPs and those things that we do. No. They are very important. But at least where you are transferring value to human, you have to prioritize the purpose first. Why do you exist for the first time? Why did you come into being? That's the first priority. Everything else will always fall into place. So we'll be doing those campaigns, and this event, which we are calling PurposeFest, is just a celebration. So what we were doing is from October, we started sensitizing people about PurposeFest experiences, and we also launched something we are calling Purpose4Impact Awards, which we shall be doing the last segments of this celebration. So I don't want to exceed a lot of conversation beyond that, because I know I can talk and talk for a whole day, but at least in short, we are here to pass only one message. And we want to recruit you to be part of this conversation in your organizations, and we can partner with you. We want to model purpose-first experiences for people and for organizations. It's as simple as that. Model that purpose-first experience as an employee, as a manager, and also for that organization that you're working for. And that purpose will be redemptive, meaning it is going to impact the humanity and also the planet, because we have a generation that we have to hand over impact so that they can also live. When I see people talk about climatic change and all that, I ask myself, we are the one who have damaged the climate. So there are some businesses that need to be held accountable, even if they have existed for 300 years. Because even right now, we don't know what we are doing to the environment for the next 400 years. We might have a generation that will not be in a habitable ecosystem. So it's a serious affair for all of us. So I want to park there, and I want to commit that you will get the necessary support as we continue engaging from this dinner in terms of helping you also to pass this message to become an ambassador in your various organizations. So thank you so much. And I know I've extended my time. Sorry so much, Grace, but looking forward to engage further.
A better clap for Gabriel. So are we getting somewhere? The questions you had earlier, have they been answered? Hey, I have stopped making clothes. I am dressing people. And I want us to take 1 minute before I invite the next person. I want us to take 1 minute within ourselves. Just tell your neighbor, what is your takeaway from Gabriel? I would have opened a Q&A, but you're going on to the panel discussion, which will have a Q&A. So I'm not going to open a Q&A, but I want you to whisper to your neighbor, what have you learned? Or your takeaway from Gabriel? Have they taken something away? All right. We are going to continue this conversation. We cannot finish it today. Gabriel, I know my purpose. You know I know my purpose? Okay, good. All right. Hiyo mmeenda sana. Sikusema mshare notes. Hakuna exam. Tutaendelea kesho. So in the meantime, allow me to welcome Madam Kerry Kagire. She's the one who is going to take us to the panel discussion where we will engage further on purpose. Remember, our hashtag today is I am Redemptive, Purpose4Impact, PurposeFest. Purpose first or PurposeFest? Ni confirm. Poleni, I apologize. So Purpose4Impact, PurposeFest. I am who? Hashtag I am who? Can I hear louder? I am. So let's appreciate Kerry.
Good to see you too. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? We match the energy kidogo, yeah. Like, I'm just trying. Round 2, take 2. Toeni hiyo kwa edit. Toeni hiyo. Wacha tuweke ingine. Good evening, everybody. You know, I first saw this word purpose. I was in my grandmother's room snooping around. We were pretty close. And I saw a book written, What the hell am I on earth? What on earth am I here for? What? You know the book by Rick Warren? But there's like the smaller version, like a very small one. It's like, what on earth am I here for actually? Hiyo hell nimeongeza. Hakuna mtu anaenda hell in Jesus' name because I am redemptive. Hallelujah, we are all redemptive. And that's the time I encountered, I was like, hiya. So I don't actually have to be a dentist so that I can be as rich as Auntie Nani. I can just like be amazing and go to places and light up the room, be the joy, be the strength, be the encouragement itself. Hallelujah. You know, Sir Gabriel, I feel attacked because I was telling my neighbor, my purpose is I am an encourager. And then he just tore down my whole, you all saw that. I was telling my neighbor, Kai, ni mimi. So I am encouragement itself. And I feel like it's such a huge, exciting thing to do for people and see them win. I feel so happy when people are winning because they don't keep borrowing me money anymore. They're just happy, yeah. They are prospering. You know, I'm like, go. And I brought my helmet here because I feel like this is also part of my purpose. I am a biker. I'm the person who you guys cut in the middle of the road. You say I should not be on the road, yet I am in a motor vehicle, which I pay insurance for, and I bought for a lot of money. It's me. It's me you cut. and you say we should ride on the side of the road, it is I. And why I ride is because I need to get to places like this in 30 seconds. So I have a radio show on Hope FM. It's the only station where you listen and live. George is keeping me at work. Thank you. Keep investing in Hope FM. So what happens there as encouragement, I have a 7 p.m. show, and I needed to be here at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. So we don't have a subway to get us from point A to point B because the planning was done however it was done. So I need to be on my bike to get here in that time. And so I decided I'm going to learn how to ride. Sitashinda nimelipa watu wa boda boda. Pia hawajaenda driving school, they overtake on the left. So I said I'm that bike in the middle of the road, like I own the road. Sometimes I wear a tutu skirt just to annoy you even more. So I prosper. And so, because, seriously, we might never have a subway. We might never. So the sooner we accept, okay, it will come. But for now, in the next like 2-3 years, just care anyway. Ata president ajataja. And he's the president. So for now, we need to get to places and cut through traffic. And not stay in a long line, uko, all the way. I saw the line from you and I was just like, some of you are behind me and you left work 2 hours ago. God bless you. You are here now. And those who are coming, they are welcome. I want to welcome our panelists so that we can have a really good discussion. So I'm just going to sit here with my helmet, and we're so happy. And I'd like help from our MC to you have a really nice voice, to just read out their profiles as they come up on stage. So that will be even more exciting for us so that we hear your voice. We have a few profiles, but I can welcome them one by one, and then as she gets that, we will get it. So in the creative, performing, creating, writing, songwriting, event organizing, prospering, we have Minister Solomon Sila. Karibu sana on stage. Let's give him a good hand as he's coming. I know we have like a really nice profile for you today. So much tukiendelea. Karibu sana. And we have a couple of questions for you. A gentleman who absolutely inspires me because he's in his purpose. You can tell he's in his purpose because of how excited he is about it. I host him on radio, and like, you know, you just, if you just hear him, you're going to buy land. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Kwanza on Inoro TV, it's like even more, you know. He's just like, no kwenda muhoda. No, that's not his voice. But we're going to be reading a little bit about him and getting to know him better. That's the external we see. He is a deep well of encouragement, a mighty man of God. Let's welcome Sir George Washuri. Karibu Sada. Karibu. As he's coming up, let's give him a hand until he gets here. I think our beautiful host has the next person and the profile. And you can just introduce them and call them up. This one, I think I was very comfortable to introduce because when you engage with people, you have quite a lot to say about them. So,
Kerry, allow me to just do this. You know, Gabriel has said that people have to be purpose-led individuals. Okay. So I want them to lead their purpose here and tell us who exactly they are,
okay,
what really they do,
okay,
and exactly whether they have discovered their purpose, and if they have. Moja yao tafadhali.
I love it.
We'll start with you. It's okay. Okay, my name is Solomon Sila, or Pastor Solomon Sila. I am a creative and one who is good at it, loving what I do in the music field. I'm a trainer. I'm a head of a team called The Gathering. I'm a pastor, musician, and I love what I do.
Wow, thank you. Good evening. Wow, my name is George Washiuri, and my purpose, why I exist, is to economically and socially empower and transform communities. When people buy land, they build, I see the house, I smile. When we create jobs, because we are job creators, we are hiring people, and people are earning salaries. They come to Optiven looking somehow good, and they live there better, I smile. When I see children that we support get scholarship, they graduate, they come for MTs, management trainees at Optiven, I smile. When we build houses for shoshos and gukas in Ukambani and other areas, Leshaos, I smile. When I see people change, I feel good. That's George Washuri for you. I'm excited to be here. And thank you, Gabriel, for this opportunity. We are very happy, very excited. Kenya is changing. We are changing. We are moving. God bless.
I love it. CEO of Optiven, thank you so much. We have Gabriel Nyamu will be joining us on this panel because he has a wealth of information to just come and give it to us. So let's give him a hand for even just dreaming this out. He's gathered us all here. If you're not clapping, I think you're jealous because, like, why would you not clap for a revolutionary? I'm from Central, can't say it. So we have one more panelist. I think she's on her way if she's not here right now, who is in the media. That's Helen Modoni. If Helen Modoni is here, could she come on up? If she's on her way, as soon as she gets here, we can bring her up. I love it. We're also going to be opening up an opportunity for you to ask any questions you might have. And it's so exciting to be here. I told the rest of the panelists they should buy a bike. That's what I said, but it's okay. Let's talk about discovering the purpose. And I think I'll start with you, Solomon Silla. What was that day? You know that eureka moment when you knew, I am in my purpose. And are you even in your purpose? Just that mic, thank you.
Okay. Am I in my purpose? Yes, I am. For me, the greatest thing that worked for me is the day I saw younger people do what I love doing. And like being better than I am, go forward. Number one, loving themselves, because for me that is key. And number two, going beyond just what is natural and just because most of us have been in church systems. And let me just give a preview. I'm born and raised in church. I'm a bishop's son. Cool. So, like, the life that I knew best was church. And growing up in church, you just knew very well. Church had bad music. Let's start bad. Pathetic. Sorry. Yeah. Bad music, and we could give every spiritual, foolish explanation for mediocrity in the church. You remember those days that usisikilize sauti, sikiza maneno. And somebody feels has a spiritual way of saying it. Like when I was growing up, we had this music director in church who never showed up for any practice, who would miss every practice, but on Sunday anasema kulikuwa na hitilafu mahali lakini Bwana atasaidia, so tutachagua wimbo yoyote. You know, no preparation, nothing, and you want to call it worship. My question is, how do you call it sacrifice if it has not cost you anything?
Oh, yes.
And for me, I got fed up with that because I would invite my buddies to come to church and they hated it. Because, so this is what you want us to come. Because like a lot of people would wait for us to finish worship and come to church to listen to the word. You know, we want to get blessed at the end of the day. So for me, I found out, number one, we are losing the young people in the process. I'm just in church because my dad is the pastor. You know, I hate this space because it's not working for me. But then with time, I found out, what can we put into it? I can listen to music and get it right. Kumbe guys can sound well, you know? So I found out it will cost you something. But now the challenge is, we who wanted excellence were very few as compared with the rest. You know, anything can work anytime. So like for us who wanted excellence, we were very few. And we were being forced to take it in, you know. Like you're being told, why should you take all this time preparing, you know? And like, if you've noticed, most of the church worship, it's like being a seat filler. Shikilia mpaka mchungaji akuje.
Oh no.
So you're being shown how,
less important it is. So because people knew it's not that important, they're waiting for us to finish and go. So they never put any effort to it. But the day they saw the value we put into it, and so now people started appreciating the work and the input in it, it made difference. But it had to go beyond that, because now I had to start caring for people. Because I found out people are the greatest asset that Jesus came for.
Amen.
And it's how much you care for people determines the input they'll bring into your space. I found out it's not just singing. I have to appreciate this person that, number one, people forget you are volunteers. The people that serve in church are volunteers, and they're not like in your company. You have your employees here. If you tell them to come to work, they must come.
We call the partners.
No, okay, sorry. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry. I apologize.
Business partners.
Ay,
Wow.
sinimezimwa. It's so But in the process, fast. Churches that pass by the time you get to the church you go to.
Wow.
That's how much value you bring to them. With people are important. So the day I started now applying value to people, appreciating people, then they could bring now their gifts. People are two things. I found out that people are determines the gift they bring to you. Number two, how you treat them determines the gate they open for you.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Someone should be tweeting that. Hashtag I am redemptive. Please. Tweet.
So if those are the things that now made me appreciate people, and in the process, right now as we're speaking, I lead a team called The Gathering. We have over 375 singers from different counties. Wow. 6 different counties. Wow. Yes.
I love it. Let's give him a hand. We're going to do a pickup question to our next panelist, George Washuri. This intentional living your purpose to the fullness, because now you've known it, and maybe you can also piggyback on that Eureka day that it happened. But how did you intentionally now start? Like, because starting, guys, is not easy. Like, starting is hard. You have this dream, you have this idea, you know what you've been called to do. But like just changing and starting, that's the hardest part. I feel like that's the heavy lifting. Actually we call it showing up for yourself is not easy.
And when we were now young people, youth, our intention was to get to survival. I think Gabriel talked about it. And for us who came from the village and we came to the city of Nairobi, we were mesmerized, we were amazed, we were gazing at the houses, tall apartments. And for me, I was wondering, hey, George, a boy from Kieni, will you survive in this city with many cars, busy people, smart people? And I was under the weather. So for me, I told God, I just want a job, nothing more. So when we were in campus, people were saying no jobs, no jobs. But somebody told me, if you want to get employed, do an an accounting course. Immediately, I went to Strathmore and started doing my CPAs. And quickly, I did up to CPAK, quickly, before I cleared the university, because I desperately needed a job to survive. So when I came out, I got a job with the Oshumi supermarket. But a year did not end before I was fired. I was caught. We were in a big hall, speaking to people, and this Asian guy, he was called Shah, told me, "You are the one who is making noise, and the trial balance cannot balance." I thought it was a joke. I was told, "Go and see the HR." I was fired. Of course, later on, I now went to other organizations, then I went to business. Of course, business, the same thing. I needed money to survive in Nairobi. I did car hire, that collapsed. I did tours and travel, collapsed. I manufactured shampoos, conditioners. I was hawking them in Pangani, collapsed. I did 15 businesses looking for survival in Nairobi. They were all collapsing. But my turning point was when I now said I want to do real estate. I had saved money, 5 million, paid a deposit, and the money was eaten by men. 3 men. I went down, I was depressed, I was stressed. And I was kicked away out of the office, and my office was a Uhuru Park with my Bible, a pen, and a notebook. When I was there at Uhuru Park and praying and telling God, "Hey, what have I done?" One time I was praying and fasting, and a thing came and told me, "George, make a commitment." And I did it. I said, "God, if you bless me again, number 1, I will serve you. Number 2, I'll be supporting your work. Number 3, I'll never be proud. Number 4, I'll be supporting people." And then I wrote it. So when God performed miracles and Optimum picked up, that's how the foundation was born. And I came up with a statement that I will live to economically and socially empower and transform communities. So whatever that we do, we ask ourselves, are we transforming communities? And that's why for us, we are very passionate. We have been partnering with Hope FM for many years. Many years. And we support Christian organizations. We are supporting international leadership organizations. We are supporting Focus. We are supporting Christian associations in different universities because that's our purpose. 5% of the money we get, we say this money goes to support communities. Right now with this drought, I think you have done almost 5 counties supporting food support. Tomorrow after this, of course after this I'll go to Kesha. After Kesha, I'm in Kieni tomorrow. Why? That's our purpose. We have to do it. We do it. We don't struggle. By the way, for me, I don't struggle giving at all. One time, nilikasirika sana. Kate knows. And I said, I'm not giving enough. I wrote a letter to our finance director. I said, my salary, because me, I earn salary. I can't pick money from Optivate. I wrote a letter. 3 months, I want this money to go to the foundation. And I had no money for 3 months. I was borrowing money from my wife. And I'm in Optivate. I'm the team leader. I wanted to discipline myself so that I buy this and I believe in this purpose to support communities. I know my story is so long. I may not finish it, but I put it in a book. We call it Soaring Like an Eagle. It's a book that we use to raise money for the foundation. And the people who have read this book, because I can see Elizabeth is here. Na amesoma hii kitabu. I can see Mary Dhu amesoma. People cry and say, hey, if George have done it, I can do it. It's a nice book. It's 1,000 shillings. And for the business people, how to start small and build an empire. I use this for mentorship, and George was sure for mentorship. And let me tell you, as Gabriel said, living for your purpose is so exciting, it's so easy. You don't struggle. You just enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Just the those tail signs are indeed walking in your purpose. Sometimes you look around, am I really? Stories from George, you hear stories from Gabriel, you hear stories from Solomon and his passion. And Passion Prophet is here. Hi, Frida. How are ya? Love you so much. You're amazing. Super Iron Lady. Yeah, talk to her. Don't leave here without meeting this lady. I'll tell you why later. But Gabriel, what are those telltale signs? So that at least tujue pali tuko.
Thank you, thank you. I think I'll begin from basics, just basics. You don't give yourself purpose. You don't wake up one day and say, I will choose to do this. No. It's already inbuilt in you. I'll just give you a bit of an analogy, which I use in the purpose coaching. Have you ever known that flowers were not meant for beauty? If you go and get these nice flowers out there, they were not for beauty. But we see beauty in it. Inside the flower, if you go to people who do the plant and that scientific world and the quantum world, will tell you there's some insects that are only attracted to a yellow flower. And you'll not see that insect in a blue flower or in another purple flower. That means that flower is a livelihood ecosystem. It is made that way. The unseen world, not the one that we call the physical, the unseen world is more organized and so entangled together. Now, I want to get that into now the purpose conversation. You don't give yourself. When God created you, he actually drip-fed, for lack of a better word, he drip-fed the purpose and the intent for what you're supposed to do inside you. So what do you do then? We only discover it. And it's a prayerful conversation. I want to begin with that first because there are people who sometimes think purpose you can hop from one place to another. Now, there are some indicators that will always tell you there's a certain voice calling you. If you heard someone what he was talking about, actually he was almost implementing something that we do in the purpose discovery journey. There's something I call holy discontent or holy anger. There's an anger that is holy. You know, you go somewhere even like this place and maybe we are talking here and you're watching us there and you're like, I feel angry. There's something these guys could have done, they're not doing. There's a voice behind. Don't look at the emotional part. Try to question the thoughts. And that's the hardest part for a human being. Questioning the thoughts and the feeling. What am I feeling when I watch news and I see a child being abused? I feel mad like I can go and beat that TV. Don't focus on the activity. Try to question behind. What is this that is allowing me? And let me tell you one thing. God is a way he put conviction in us based on truth. So if God reveals you truth that tells you, let's say, children deserve a better life. That's why George will be very passionate to go and salvage situations of hunger and all that. Because there's a conviction behind it. So holy discontent is one clear telltale. But then you have a choice there. You have a choice to blame and complain. Focus on that. It's the solution that is inside you that is trying to get a voice. You get so that truth, which is a word of God generally, biblical truth is the true truth. That truth, if you really believe in it, it will lay a foundation of convictions. Now, what we lack, especially in the current world, we have even leaders who have no convictions. They don't stand for anything. So if you're very keen on trying to establish convictions around what draws you, there's a lady who I interacted with who was, she's very passionate about, this pro-life movement and all that. And whenever there's something that is trying to threaten, like family, things like abortion, the lady have a conviction that an unborn child is a human being. That conviction make her go to the street and organize demonstrations. Now, if you ever, just journal your life. Those things that you ever did and you are like, wait a minute, how did I even end up there? But then don't focus on what you did. Go one layer like an onion. Peel further to ask yourself, what is that conviction that was in me, in the heart, that drew me to action? Because convictions activates you to action. That's another angle. Of course, you can talk about those other things which are more indicator, like things like if you take an inventory of spiritual gifts, it's only in purpose all your gifts work in unison. You'll find people telling you, yes, I'm a manager here, but I feel there's something in me that I'm not doing here. I'm only utilizing it somewhere else. If you find what you're doing, there's part of your potential and gifting that is not fully utilized, you are not yet in the right place. That should be telling you in a foreign occupation. Because when you get your purpose, you'll find like you actually were made for that. So when you have gift of wisdom, myself, I have gift of wisdom. I use it on a daily basis. Faith, giving, like for George, and also the knowledge. When I look at all my top 5 gifts, they are all collapsed into what I do. I don't feel like one day I'm switching into these gifts, another time I'm switching. No. All of them are in the same spot because that's the reason why you are built. That's why you are created. So those are some of the things that can help you. But the thing is to question and have what we call reflective analysis of yourself. Journal your life also. I met a guy who actually runs a microfinance, and he just observed that every time he get a phone call, the phone call is around borrowing money. And he has, he went now build, you can have a choice again, kukasirika, You get angry because people are calling you for. But he decided, let me question, why? Why are they attracted to me? Out of maybe 10 calls, 6 calls has a money conversation. Kobe, there was a hidden grace. These people are attracted by that hidden grace. I talked to, in fact, it's my own brother actually, who actually told me at a point, he's always attracted to drunkards. He's a pastor actually. So when he go to a place, he will always find himself, while everyone akuja, and he has a language for them. There's a way what you call connection. Journal your life. Don't throw away those people who are hanging around. In fact, if you find people who are miserable around you, ask yourself, why are they attracted to me? You'll find they are looking for a redemptive grace to tap inside you. But most of us chase them away. We complain about bad employees, bad bosses. If you find that every time you get employed, you always get a boss who harasses you, question yourself first. What could be it that maybe I have a solution? That's why this environment can never go. So they are very clear indicators, and if you're very intentional, you'll actually see a pattern shaping over a period of time. But of course, do it prayer-free. Yeah.
Wow, is this helpful? Is it? Let's give a hand. Let's give a hand to that. I just have like 3 more questions as you prepare your questions. I hope you guys are coming up with a few so we can utilize this gentleman and the grace God has given them. Solomon, I want to pick this one up with you. How has your personal life like, let me
Okay, I want you to understand, a lot of us in the spaces we grew up in, and like especially the church space, I actually tell people this. Church is the only place where you'll have everybody coming from everywhere with all their craziness, but then we want them to be sober people. Church is the one place we were taught to fake. Now let me tell you what we pastors' children, I have some few pastors' children here. I can see. That's a bishop's daughter right there. Yes. Now, this is a funny thing we see when we see you guys come to church. You will come arguing with your spouse. Then when you see our parents who are the bishop, and like you are arguing, literally arguing. Then when you see our bishop, oh, praise the Lord. And like how it will switch, and we just know you are fighting, the whole idea is that we were never taught how to speak the truth in love. We were not taught how to be real about issues. We are not taught how to be, that people are going through life. And because we were taught how to live the fake life, it's hard for people now to show up and just say, this is who I am. And so people are going through spaces, but then they have to come to church and fake it. Now, such a person who's coming to you and just react, that's a reaction because she's going through something, but because the easiest way is to take it out on you, because number one, people just need to be shown care. You know, like before you, I usually ask people, before you do, for those who are in worship teams, let me ask you, because in a worship team you have mothers, you have younger people and all that stuff. And if you have a mother who has come to the practice with her children, what if, as a team, you decided to have a kitty, then ensured to have, sandwiches for the children? Because most mothers, when they come for practice, if practice is at 2, they will come and it ends at 4, they will come at 3:15. And by 3:45, they want to leave. They are not even said, because the child is nagging. What if you had some toys for the children at a corner and sandwiches? That woman will not even think about her children. She will know that, number one, you've considered me. So the whole idea is, one thing about the church, sorry to say, we've never applied that considering space. Tumekuja kwa Ubuntu. Tumekunja imbanda. Like, meaning, I was raised by Kamba pastors. So, tumekunja imbanda. Tumekunja mahali pa kusikia God. Hallelujah. So the problem is, we are not prepared to handle people. We were not taught how to care for people. So it affected them. So for that woman, if she just understood that, number one, you care for her. You have room for her as a person. Because people just need to know you care for me as a human being. That thing you just talk about being. You know, like, if people know, even in the workplace, that, number one, it's not just my gift you need, it's me as a person. You know, like, you care for me as a person first. That is what will make somebody plug into it. Yeah. So, you asked about my personal journey.
Yes.
My personal journey was weird, because being a pastor's child, no, I have to talk about this. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Being a pastor's child has this crazy thing, because number one, your life is public. That's the craziest thing about being pastor's child. Your life is public. You don't have, like, even when you're doing KCP, it's as if your results have to be announced in church. People want to know if you are, like, please, I'm just a child. You know, like, and most people say, well, coming to my parents and telling my parents stuff about me when I'm there. You know, like, I'm wondering, mtoto hajakuwa mzuri. And like, you guys, you better be patient with us. We are human beings first. It's our Father who is the pastor, not me. I'll find my way somewhere in there. Yeah. So I'll find out my calling in the process. So your drama is public. Your life is public. If you go out with somebody, everybody knows. You know, and like, there's nothing hidden from the world. So if you want to plug in even to help in ministry, they will look at every other mistake apart from what you're doing. No, like, they will think you're not gifted enough. You are just given this space because you are the pastor's child. But they'll never see that you've worked tirelessly behind it. Because I have done every crazy thing. I've driven the church lorry, taking instruments for crusade, you know, like, set up, lead worship, sit down, you know, like, allow my dad to finish preaching, then take the instruments back. I'll be the one to drive them, you know. And then, let me give this short story. There is this one time, we went for a mission in Machakos. And I was being the worship pastor that time. We've gone for a mission in Machakos. And the last day of the mission, our team, my team, I was left packing the instruments. Guys had to go back to work on Sunday. We were leaving the mission on Sunday, so guys have to travel back. So we got a matatu for them to go back. And I'm still packing the equipment. And in the process of packing the equipment, I hear that my guys have had an accident. So I have to call the police to come take care of my equipment. And I run and start collecting 6 members of my team. Lost 6 members of my team, and I'm the one carrying them, putting them in a pickup. And after that, you have to do 6 funerals, while you have 7 people in hospital with broken limbs and all that stuff. And you have also to deal with the church being told, your father being told that he has sacrificed. And that's a time you ask yourself, okay, so even if they said we sacrificed, how comes the giving went down? Like the church did not grow. Now, at least if you have sacrificed, at least show us something for the sacrifice. You know, nothing happens. You've lost people, and you have to love on people, care for people who are speaking against you. You know, go beyond that and still invest in them to see the best in them. So, that was my greatest redemption. When I found out ministry has to be beyond you. You're not the emblem of ministry. Jesus loved on people who hated on him. So if you will talk about people who will scandalize you behind your back and still have to love them as they do it. You will have to go beyond yourself. Last but not least, being a pastor is the weirdest thing ever. Because number one, pastors, please, if you see a pastor and you have your pastor, be patient with them. They go through the craziest thing. Because 1 minute they'll be told there is a bath. Next minute they will be joining a wedding. While before they finish the wedding, they've lost a member. Like all those crazy feelings in one day. I remember during COVID time, there is a day I lost 7 people. Same day. You're comforting this one. While comforting this one, the other person has just died. While comforting, and you have to do all those funerals together at the same time. And then you're told, you're not caring enough. Jesus. You know, it has to go beyond you. And that's why, unless you're called for this, you can't do this. The greatest calamity for me that I dealt with as a pastor was the Garissa one, when we lost guys in Garissa. And because people think it's easy, but the bodies have been dropped, and some people have been shot over 4 or 5 times on the face, and you have to hold a parent and walk with the parent and ask them, do you remember any other mark in your child's body? And you have to do it for the aspect of ministry. Because now pastors, we've become undertakers. You've become all this. And ministry has to, unless you're passionate about it, there must be something that goes beyond what you do. And love people for who they are. And when people know you care, they'll plug in. When they know that you're thinking of them first, and it's not about your agenda, it's not for your name to be seen out there, they'll plug in.
I love it. I love it. We're picking this up even for our lives. I think I was talking to the World Evangelical Alliance, and they have this pillar in Converge, which is the youth arm, which is called soul care. And we are just like, soul care, need do it. I was just sitting there nodding, very understanding. But now the way you brought it out, it's full in my scope of Do we actually care? People don't care how much we know. They know how much we... Yeah, exactly. I want us to welcome Helen Modoni, who's just joined us. Let's give her a hand. Helen is really the most well-dressed TV host I have ever seen. This girl, I'm just like, who's your Taylor sister? The Lord has connected us. Number 2, the statement of the year, better late than ugly. Yeah, that's how we do. Better late than ugly. I will rope you into the conversation shortly, because I want to just get to Sir George and ask you something, and maybe your partners should not.
Wow, I hope I have understood it.
What's the secret?
Thank you, Kerry. I think when we were growing as an organization, my personal purpose is what I delivered to Wednesday is prayer and fasting. Thursday, phone-free day. I just free reader around my house, you know. And then once in a while is community work. And we brought these personal activities to the organization. So when you're doing devotion, it's much. George Washuri Optivate Purpose. Because what I do at thank you.
So the same. How do you make this life? This like, how does it become lifelong? Like forever and ever and ever. Amen.
One of the things that we implant this purpose is, of course, one of the things is developing people. John Maxwell said that the best leader is not the one who develops resources. It's good to develop resources, but says the greatest leader is the one who develops people. And we invest a lot in trainings, mentoring, so that these people, the entire purpose-driven, it's basically like the way of living. If we tell you, one of the things is honesty. We don't tell you when we are telling you the Great Oasis Gardens in Nanyuki, that it is only 2 kilometers from the city. We tell you it is 10 kilometers. So if you go and put on odometer, that's how it is. So it is part of us. Thank you, Kerry.
Don't ask me why I know it's 10. I want to rope in Helen just to introduce herself for you to get to know her. But when Gabriel was speaking earlier, I remember writing something I saw somewhere. It was a CFO to a CEO, but now I've changed. Saying, what if we spend and invest in them and the CEO will yeah? Yeah? Oh, thanks. Hi. Okay, Helen, introduce yourself.
Hi, Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Hallelujah.
Amen. I'm Helen Mudhoni. I'm born again. Sorry, I've been talking loudly where I was. I was not late choosing what to wear.
Sorry.
That is so easy for me to do. Actually, nimeingia nyumba like 2 seconds kama nimetoka. I was in Thika. Hado hetago. Oh, sorry. Place inaitwa Idhaga.
Translate. I can translate for you, but try. Can translate.
Hado hetago Idhaga.
Somewhere called Itanga.
Secondary school, and the secondary school is called Gado, and was told to go there. Basically, it was we were preaching to those students, and more than 100 of them gave their lives to Christ. So that is where we were. Now, if you know Ithanga where it is in Thika. Sasa Thika, cash crop yao ni traffic. Sasa kutoka hapo sijui Makongeni mpaka wapi kwa njia karibu ni fly. But the Lord is good. Nimefika kwa nyumba kama nimevaa kama nimetoka, and I'm glad I've found you guys here. So I'm sorry for being late. And can I say I didn't come alone?
Yes, please.
Yes, I didn't come alone. The people who are my witness where we were, they are there. Please stand. That is therapist Wamwene, Rebecca Wamwene. She's an evangelist with the Kariobangi PCEA.
Amen.
And she's also a therapist by profession.
Amen.
Then I have my very own sister. She's my blood sister.
Yes,
and she goes everywhere with me. She ministers to my life. She's just an amazing woman of God. She's a health practitioner.
I love it.
Yes.
Helen, you know, clearly when someone says they went somewhere, just today when we were here in town, 100 people gave their lives to Christ. I feel like, what is your purpose, really? Even when, as you do that, as you walk into that mission field, is that part of it, or is that, just share with us a little bit?
I believe my whole life purpose is just to spread hope. That is it. My whole life sums up into hope. There's an
You should work for Hope FM.
I know. Shout out to Hope FM. We, maybe Noro anaona. My whole life is purpose. There's an illustration. I don't know whether I saw it or I read it, but it stuck with me. You know that thing you see somewhere and it's stuck, and you don't know whether it's somebody who told you or you read it. But that thing, I think, it gave my whole life a purpose or a reason to live, and I saw why I live. I don't know whether there were scientists. They took 2 rats in a jar, ikiwa na maji. And then they put them, and then one rat ikafunikwa kabisa with a dark paper. And the other one, it was funikwa kabisa with a dark paper, but it was ikatobolewa hapa juu. And so the rats were there swimming to, get out, but it's totally closed. So they said the one that was in a totally closed lid died within 5 minutes. It just drowned and died. But the one that was in a jar that had an opening on the top, it swam for 48 hours before it gave up and died. So what does that mean? That light, it had hope that at the end of it, I'll swim and get out of this jar. So it kept on swimming and swimming and swimming. And so my motto in my life is, all you need is hope. If you have hope, you will say, I'll see tomorrow. Maybe everything else is not working. But if you have hope that somehow things will work out, you will have that energy. So my life purpose is just to spread hope.
I love it. So Gabriel will tell you just now, you are hope. You. Everyone say, tell her. You are hope. When you walk into a space, you are home. Let's give her a hand, even as she settles in. Gabriel, I'm coming to you, and I just want to understand, how does your dominant sphere of impact complement the rest? And I think you had kind of touched on this earlier on, but how does your dominant sphere of impact complement the rest and yield to more impact?
All right, thank you. I maybe just for the sake of the team, I think I'll talk about the main impact spheres that are also subject to this award system. The role I play mostly is on the knowledge side. So, and that's deconstructing and constructing knowledge. And knowledge is almost equal to truth. And because we said when you know the truth sets you free. That's my space. So that's my dominant sphere of impact. So I'm able to engage people as a thought leader, whether we are discussing business, strategy, the contemporary things happening in the world at a knowledge level. That's why I swim with no struggle. But of course, it cannot work alone. I always find myself within an ecosystem. And it even starts from my own house. Okay? And that's my wife. Because her faculty is a bit different. Her impact sphere is quite different from mine. Now, how I read it, of course, I make sense, and I'll maybe talk a little bit of when I was discovering my purpose, which is maybe around 12, 15 years ago. I would always find myself bringing out what you call the big picture in something small. So whenever we were in conversations, either discussing whatever it is, I was always the person like expert things. So you are seeing a kiosk, I'll make you see a supermarket, that kind of a thing. Eh? But I'm using my knowledge, that knowledge impact. But out of it, I ended up actually birthing. There are so many birthing in terms of people I kind of was able to set forth to go and flourish in their own impact sphere. What do I mean? There are people I have interacted with who have started churches. That's a completely different impact sphere. So, but the initial conversation was me making them see, wait a minute, the world, opportunity is out there. They're waiting for you. And somebody get a conviction, and later they tell me I'm learning a church. So I have also gotten people, I will give an example. One of the church around Othero, I just went, I just was speaking in after church, and I was talking about saving, some finance, kind of success training. And then I was charging them just to save for holiday. And I told them to just save 10 bob per day. I didn't know that I have cost any stuff, because there's a way I did that and did calculations as a mathematician and did a lot of simulations and exponential growth, and I showed them how that 10 bob would be a lot of money. Shock on me, after I left, they actually started an investment club. The other time, I went there, they told me, we have saved around several millions. Now you can see, I used my impact sphere, which is making people get the knowledge and make you expand your thinking, but I'm helping other people birth things in other different spheres. There's even one also, there are these, we call them the funds in media. You should have them a fund. Eh? So there's one fund actually for, I think it's actually for Inoro media, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in Murango Kubwa. So I used to go, they used to invite me and just go and talk to them. That time I was working in the bank, so they think you have all the solution about their finances. But I later got shocked, just engaging them just to change their minds and thinking, because I was telling them, you guys, ni mashabiki, you have a club, and there were almost 40 plus of them. Why not? Why just meet and just talk, and the only thing you do is just pay the hotel bills and mnatajirisha the hotel. So I was just challenging them, actually you could do something beyond just a club. Later they called me to tell me I think they have bought around 10 acres plus in Kagudo Road of land. That took almost like 2 years downstream. They told me, Gabriel, why don't you come to speak us today? Why? We want to give you news. After you challenged us, we went, we started saving. Now we are actually building our own. The whole estate are actually building and developing. Somewhere around the Kagudo Road, somewhere there. So I would say, yes, I'm using my impact sphere, but the product and the results are sparkled all over. And that's why that redemptive nature is very important. You're setting others. You're setting them up. You are the candle that is writing. I also need the people in the faith side to light the candle, because for me to lay for foundations of convictions, I need that word of God. Okay. So that's why the whole spheres are all interconnected with each other. Yeah.
Let's give him a hand. We'll give you a chance to ask one or two questions. Grace and I were going to just rove the mic. Do we have a question from this side and a question from this side to any of the panelists in particular, or a comment? Okay, right there. Okay. Introduce yourself. Probably share with us, what is your purpose?
Good evening. My name is Shalom, and my purpose is to influence. I'm an okay, sile influence and you unajua. Yeah, and I am deeply, deeply inspired just sitting down and listening to your stories. And Pastor Solomon, W for where? Watoto wa wachungaji. W for where? We relate with those stories. You host people in your house, and then they go around and they start fire, you know. So thank you for bringing that up. I think we should organize a whole crusade for you to speak on our behalf, yeah? But my question is to Mr. George Washiori. You mentioned that you tried out 15 businesses, and they failed. If resilience was a password. Hey. So my question is, has your value system changed or morphed during that whole season, so that are you able to look back and say, this is what I held on back in the day, then when I tried this, it didn't work? Did it change? Has it grown? Yeah, thank you. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you, Shalom. Yes, I would say that the value systems have changed. I remember when we came back, we said that we purpose to be professional, to be honest, to be innovative, and also to be customer-centric. And it's one thing to state the values, it's another to live by those values. Today I was speaking at GLS, Global Leadership Summit, and they were talking of the same, you know, honesty, for example. And I gave an example of some business decisions that we have made, and we have goofed. Some partnerships that we have entered into, and we goofed badly. And one of the things I was sharing, and I'm happy that some are witness here. One time we went into a partnership. We really wanted to make our customers very wealthy. Me, I am happy when people succeed. When you succeed, I am excited. Kate knows, when my people buy new cars, I want to touch those cars and pray. When Nagilai bought his new car, we work in the same office, I was so happy. And those who don't have, I ask them, when are you buying your car? And those with the old ones, I ask them, like Cecilia, when are you changing your car to BMW? And they are buying those BMWs. So I like when people succeed. So we had this dream. We wanted our customers to make real money. And the idea came of farming. Then we went to a partnership. We were told, Optiven, buy land, put water, put infrastructure, fence it, put a gate, put a caretaker, put a big dam, build big tanks to supply water. We did it. And then the partner was to supply greenhouses, manage the greenhouses, confirm the market, sign the contract, issue the plans, and she did it. To cut the long story short, you have seen it on social media. The partnership collapsed. Went to court. We are still in court even now. So I won't say who it is. For 5 years. And then the customers were getting agitated. So some customers were saying, I paid my greenhouses because I saw Optiven logo. You know? And you are getting into trouble. So imagining going back to Kieni, where I come from, I was very worried because the company would collapse completely. I'm a prayerful man. Me, I really pray, by the way. Me, I'm the person who pray, who even the time we're doing interviews, I pray in the morning. If the wrong people are coming, let them not come to the interview. And they don't come. So when people miss the interviews, I'm happy. It's a prayer answered. So I was praying, and God told me, you say you are honest, you are professional, go borrow money, pay all those 500 customers. Money that did not come to Optiven at all went to somebody else's account, another company. Borrowed the money, and the Nagirai is here. Nagirai called every single customer explaining, this man, I really value him. If I become a president, you'll be controller of State House. This man. And another one called Shalom. We wrote checks until the hands of accountants were paying. Everybody was paid. And if you are here, you did not get your money, come for your check. One of the customers I see is Elizabeth. She's there. Elizabeth, yeah, she was there. She invested huge. Wow, you see? She got her millions back. That's the cost of being honest. Values. Values. Lately, I forgive that lady. I have no burden. I've forgiven her. I went to the courts. I told the court I've forgiven her. The court told me, you have no authority to say that. It is public versus her. So the case is ongoing. Nowadays, I don't even go. I don't go to the court. That's the cost of being honest. So the values changed. And they say that any individual or company without proper values, you can't go very far. That's why Optiven will remain 1,000+ years. When George will be serving in heaven as an usher.
In part check 2, 3, 4, 5. It's good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Thuo. I'm a voice for the voiceless and a catalyst for change. I'm so glad that I'm here today. I want to thank God for just directing my footsteps to this space, because the world is changing. The leadership that we had long time is not going to make things work. But the kind of leadership that we are hearing today from Solomon, from Sir George, and of course from Gabriel, this is a kind of leadership that will change the world and make the world a better place. Because doing business as usual is not working. If we are not going to put people first, because putting people first is an act of humanity. A long time ago, we used to have bosses. We no longer need bosses. We actually do not need bosses. We need leaders today. I remember I had a boss. I was employed by one boss. And being employed by a boss, they will shout at you. They will not value you. They will not think about you. They will not put they will not put you ahead of them. But when you have a good boss, I remember I had a good boss as well. And this boss was so good that I would, if I was told to clean her washroom, I could actually clean, because she was just too good. She had a lot of humanity in her space. The reason why I'm saying that the world is evolving and we need to change, the kind of leadership that we had has to change. When we have role models like the ones who are just in front of us here, we'll not have a lot of challenges. Corruption, things like corruption will be a thing of the past. Things like human sexual harassment at workplace will be a thing of the past. Things like child labor, things like human trafficking will be a thing of the past. So I think I want to appreciate Gabriel for what you are doing. And I want to say that anybody in this forum who will not sign up for this purpose-driven course, you are losing it. Because I want to tell you, that tomorrow leaders or today leaders, if you do not understand the people around you, if you do not get close to the people, then it will be very hard for you to lead. Because you need to be close to the people, you need to engage the people around you, and you need to understand them. What are their challenges? How can you help them? Because we are told that treat people as good as you are, not as bad as they are. Treat people like you'd want to be treated. And those are the kind of leaders we are talking about. Again, you cannot lead from a distance. You need to be close to the people. How can you be close to the people? Through engaging them and listening to them. And I think that is where we need to go. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for bringing us here.
And I thank God also for putting me, and even just for showing up, directing my footstep here.
Thank you. Awesome. Let's give her a hand. I'll pick this question. It's a question. It's a question. I love that. Even as we do that, please take a redemptive. Just say something out there. You have something you can pour out after all this. Well, don't just be we call them fattened people. Let's be evangelists of this great message that we're learning. If you have a Twitter account, if you don't have a Twitter account, you don't exist. Sorry. Have I said that in the mic? Like if you're not online, get engaging, get online. Signal ubaya kama mnaniangalia vibaya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to ask a question. I know if you went to an island, I am sure you will put your Bible in that one. I'm not sure about. What other book besides the Bible the four of you will put in your bag?
Awesome. I'll give everyone a chance to just respond to that. There's a mic there. Let's start with you, Helen. What are you reading, I guess?
Thank you very much. That is a very good question. Yes,
Sorry,
of course.
what is your name?
Grace, who trains me, will beat me up by not saying my name. Even sandpaper. We have sandpaper here, our sandpaper here. She's marking my mistakes. Well, my name is Richard J. I am a human resource practitioner, and I am also a motivational speaker, and I am a George Washuri. I've trained your group once. By the way, probably that day you were not there.
All right. For me, apart from the Bible, of course, which is awesome, and if the Bible is not there, just the book of David, which talks about the story of David, that one is good enough for me. But there's this one book that I read, and it's amazing, and I would recommend for everyone to read it. It's called Chasing a Lion on a Snowy Day by Matt somebody. You know it? Oh, you're reading it? Nice. Wow. It's a good story. It talks about 3 soldiers that David had, and actually nobody talks about. But these people fought alongside David, King David in the Bible, and they were such extraordinary men. They never went after fame and being known. That's why nobody even knows them, and their names are even so hard to pronounce. One of them chased a lion. Now, the Bible tells, actually, I think it is in 2 Samuel, ikikam kuisha hapo. That is where the whole book is from. And they are called the mighty men of David. And one of them now, who is the focus of this book, is he chased a lion. Now, their qualification, their CVs, this is the way they would read. One of them chased a lion. Now, if instead of running away, he chased a lion on a snowy day. I didn't know during Bible days it was snowing, in a pit. So when you're in a pit, it's either the lion or you. One of you has to die. So he actually killed the lion on a snowy day.
I love it.
There's another one.
Spoiler alert. Are we going to read the book?
Oh, Sawa. There are 3 of them. Please go read it. It's an awesome book.
Thank you. You can pass the mic. You're such a good storyteller, though. Everyone was like this.
Wow, thank you. I'm also reading. It's a fantastic
Love
book.
it.
Yeah, fantastic book. Bania. Yeah. Yes, they say that any leader who doesn't read is not a leader. So reading is very important. And that's why for us at Optiven, we have a library. And we ensure that people working there, we are reading. I love books by John Maxwell. But currently I'm reading another one called The Blue Ocean Strategy. Fantastic book. No wonder Optiven is #1 in real estate in East Africa. We have no competition at all. We are thriving.
Real estate pesetas.
Really? Okay, I just finished a book called The Final Quest. Right now I'm reading the sequel. which is called The Call by Rick Joyner.
Are taking notes. No one mentioned 5 a.m. club. It's coming up somewhere. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm fond of books that are more in focusing on, the habits and the mindsets. So that tells you, like, my favorites are Steve Covey, quite my favorite book, The 7 Habits, The 8 Habits. I have the 8 habits at the moment as we speak. But there's another book which I'm skimming on and off, which is The Outlier. I've read it more than 5 times, but I'm doing like the 6th time. I think that's the one that I'm currently now focusing on, The Outliers.
Thank you. I'm reading 12-week year. Y'all know 12-week year? Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give them a hand. I know we're about to have dinner. Guys, there's food. It was a dinner party. It's still going to happen. I want to hand over to Grace because we still have... Thank you so much to our panelists. Let's give them a hand. Let's give them a hand. Usichoke, usichoke, usichoke. As you celebrate them, God is doing something in your life. As you celebrate them, God is doing something. I'll ask you to just welcome back and give it back to Grace to take us to the next part of the program. Thank you so much, Grace. Let's give her a hand as well. She's been doing a good job. Thank you, Grace.
You know, I met Kerry when I was winning an award. Yes. You seem to be pushing the awards a little too far. I want to come for yours as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We are prophesying an award for Kerry. Can we say an amen? And we appreciate her as well. With a clap. So, hey. Are we learning? Was that worth it? We are about to get to the meat of the evening. But before we get there, I want to welcome the band to give us just probably one song and make 2 announcements. Yes, PK. My worst of all, Nani mtoto wa pastor. I hate that thing. I can't stand it. I can't. I was judged with that thing since I was like 3 years old. And I still hear it to date. So, we need to start something. There's something we need to discuss that has been in my head for a very long time. We need a support club. Are you also a PK? Why? Oh, Bas. Sawa. So, 2 things. One, we are going to get some music. The gents is right after where we are having dinner. Ladies is way at the lift. So if you need to use the restroom, that's where they are. In the meantime, as the band is playing, I want you to take out your phone. Take out your phone. Yes, sandpaper. Oh yeah, sandpaper is Frida Owinga. Yeah, see? It has come out. It has come out. You know? Yeah. So I want us to take out our phones. Just take out your phones and be on your feet. Stand up. Stand up. Now, I want you to just walk around the room pole pole, and whenever you stop, make sure you take a selfie. We are tweeting, we are trending at number 4, and we want to come to number 2. We are trending. So we are on number 4, and we cannot be on number 4 when we are speaking purpose. That number's got to come up. So take a photo, take a selfie, take a photo with someone. Make sure you meet a stranger. It's going to be very few minutes. Very few minutes. Hashtag is PurposeFest. Hashtag is PurposeFest. Say, and That process was not very clear. So the panel has done an amazing job to make that work very easy for me. So part of us being here today is just to do what we would say, to be able to cement a good habit. And the easiest way to be able to cement a good habit is to reward it. Because what gets rewarded is what gets repeated and gets repeated. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense if we came here, talked about purpose, and not got a chance to acknowledge the people who are making that effort to give us what it means to be purposeful in our lives. And I'm sure from all the stories we've heard from Nyamo and the panelists, we already know you don't need to run a charity for you to be within purpose. Unaweza uzia watu suti and still be within your purpose, which is a very important thing. That's why we are here today. So we went out to you and many other people and requested them to give us names of the people they feel that are actually doing something purposeful. We call them purpose-led leaders. That does not necessarily mean they are managing an institution. By now, somebody mentioned about leadership. So leadership has nothing to do with your title. We normally say leadership is influence. So you are looking for purpose-led people who are out there doing things that are within their purpose. And then we shall get to see how to be able to deal with them. So once we went out and gave out forms and people gave us names, then we went back to those people and asked them a number of questions to help us clarify and to understand that clearly, are they within their purpose or do we have a problem with that? And of course, the basic questions you ask them is, what is your life purpose? What is your life conviction? Nyamo mentioned a lot around conviction. There must be a conviction that makes you want to live within your purpose. We also wanted to know what needs are they addressing in society. Because purpose is not for you. Passion ndio yako. Purpose is to be able to live for other people. So we went out there and asked people, what is it that they need in society, the gap that they are actually feeling. Most interesting thing, of course, from the many people who responded, we realized there's a lot of gap in understanding of purpose, which was shocking. We actually thought purpose is normal word that we know. But we realized actually it doesn't have as much clarity. So I'm glad for those who came early, they got a chance to get a lot of clarity around that. So it gets to fit into a need. So we wanted to know what need they are serving. We wanted to know what space they are in. Who are they impacting? Again, if you have a purpose, you have a target. You have a target group, you have a target space. Because you're either impacting people or impacting society or impacting the world in one way or the other. So you must target somebody. You must make an impact on somebody else or something else. So we wanted to know what is it or who are these people that they actually get to impact. I'm saying this so that next time when you ask for people to be nominated, you nominate yourself because you have the Mwakenya. I'm actually just giving you Mwakenya for the next nominations, but also to give you something to go think about if you have just been operating on autopilot. We also wanted to know something very interesting that most people are not able to bring out, something we called redemptive grace. If I asked you, where are you listening to me now? Where are you giving me attention? Is it that you love purpose or gifts? Both. Are you sure? There's always something. You have a grace that helps you to be able to dispense that which you have. And sometimes it's as simple as the confidence, as simple as the authority in your voice, as simple as your level of empathy, as simple as your level of friendliness. We always have that small gift inside ourselves that we have been given. That's why we call it a grace. Because you don't look for it, you don't work for it. There's just something you've been given that makes you useful to other people. And that thing is what helps you to be able to dispense your purpose. So that's also something we wanted to see if people have a bit of clarity in. That what is the grace that God has given you, or that thing that you have inside you that makes it far much easier for you, that people around you get helped through you. And that's something we wanted to hear. But we also wanted to know if these people are able to impact that purpose into the next generations. Again, purpose is not about you. So if you start off something, it's good Mr. Washuri said in the next 100 years, when he'll be singing with the angels, Optiven will still be running and making billions of money. Lakini hata ikula. Luckily, it should just be singing and enjoying and walking on gold. So he will be in a better version than those will be down here. In short, your purpose needs to impact into generations. It shouldn't die with you. So the other thing we wanted to know is, as much as you are living within your purpose, how is it getting multiplied? How will it be sustainable beyond you? What is it that you are doing beyond yourself? And that was very important. The other thing we are looking at for is, if you're within your purpose, one of the things that really happens is you're also utilizing your gifts. Because you can actually do a job and do it well, but you're probably not using any of your gifts, or you're using one or two. And when that happens is that when you keep hopping jobs and hopping businesses, because you're doing something, it could be making you the money, but deep inside, there's something that is not adding up. There's a hole that you're trying to fill. But when you're within your purpose and you're using all your gifts, you are at home. You might not enjoy it every morning, but you have the resilience because it is within your space. So for us to be able to verify that these people are actually within their purpose, we wanted to know, what are your gifts and how are you using them to be able to pass that purpose? And of course, beyond that, also what we wanted to know, what other contribution are you making? If you're in a certain space, you need to make contribution to it. You are writing books, like we've seen the panelists here do. You've come up with some sort of a program, like Frida does. So there are things you are doing that are impacting beyond you. You're adding a contribution to that space. So that's something else you also wanted to see from those people. What contribution are you making? Have you authored a book? Have you come up with a program? Have you designed a model? Whatever it is that you have that shows that you're actually contributing into that space is something we also wanted to go. And of course, beyond that, testimonials. If you bucket people, there must be some sort of evidence somewhere. There should be somebody who can say something about it because it's about other people. So we also wanted to see some testimonials. And of course, in this age and era, we also wanted to see a bit of your digital footprint. Like, do you own something, a website? When I met Frida for the first time, she was my transition coach into business. And she told me, I want to see a good website. But she held my hand beautifully. So we wanted to see a bit of digital footprint. Are you appearing anywhere, somewhere within the digital world? Because that also makes it easier for us to be able to pick whatever it is that you do. But of course, we still had those who had a digital footprint that says one thing and what is on their profile says something else. Please have some bit of congruency in your life. And don't make your page full of memes, because you made our life very difficult trying to look for something that is purposeful within your memes. So yes. So that's what the process that we went through to just be able to gather a lot of information from the people. Once we gathered that information, then it came back to us. We did quite a bit of vetting. Of course, we were looking for quite a bit of things within those answers that they gave. We are looking for clarity. How clear are you about all those questions? We are looking for specificity. How specific are you? Or are you just beating around the bush to explain your issues? Is it verifiable? Can I actually go back and verify that information from somewhere? That was also pretty important. How authentic are you? Or are you just copy-pasting somebody's program from somewhere? Or are you just copy-pasting things? So we're also looking for a bit of authenticity and something unique, something that is about you, not just done by other people. But of course, most importantly, purpose first. That all that you are doing is to impact other people. Because you could be doing a lot of things, but they're just for you. But in all the things that you're actually doing, is it purpose-led? Is it about impacting other people? Is it about impacting generations that will come? So of course, based on that, we're able to get quite a bit of information from people. We had tried to categorize all that based on a number of spheres. We call them spheres of life. Just again to try and be able to touch various aspects. For example, we are looking at people who are within the economic zone, business and trade, family and social impact, who are dealing with communities, spiritual impact around religion and faith, knowledge impact, people who are in education, thought leaders, innovation. We were looking at stewardship and governance, people who are within the political space. You can actually still be a politician or be within the political space and be purpose-led. You want to see purpose in every sphere of our life. We are looking for people within the communication area. We're also looking for people within the creativity and arts. Of course, it was dependent on the information that we got from people. And
at least luckily from 5 spheres, we got quite a bit of numbers that we could be able to work with and to be able to vet. And then after all the work that we did to be able to vet and come up with some numbers to award some sort of scoring, and we picked the top 2 in every space. And those are the people we shall be celebrating this evening. Drum rolls. Madam Helen Muthoni. So Muthoni's purpose is spreading the love of God to all by bringing the hope. She already told us she's a gospel artist, she's a philanthropist, a preacher, and a TV host. And through that space, she gets to spread the love of God and bring hope. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Muthoni. Thank you, Monica. Impact category, Mr. John Karani. Congratulations, Mr. Karani. Mr. Karani's purpose is transforming supply chain management for prosperity and posterity. Mr. Karani is the chairman of the Kenya Institute of Supply So Mary looks to be a force of change, a catalyst of sustainable development in creating resilient societies and people. So she looks out for the marginalized youth, women and people living with disabilities. She gives them avenues for learning, avenue for inclusion and integration. Thank you very much, Madam Mary, for giving a voice. Mr. Isaiah looks to equip people and institutions towards satisfaction or fulfillment and significance, which is fruitfulness. He runs Active Hub Social Enterprise. Now for the he runs a mentorship program called Living Effectively Mentorship Program. Yeah, feel free to come with your partner in this. Mtajuaje? Congratulations, Mr. Kuria and the partner. Their purpose is to uplift lives and livelihoods for people struggling with mental disorders, youth suffering from drug addiction, and broken families. Takuria. So we are giving you this platform to reach many more who require your services and your help. Broken families are a big problem, so thank you for impacting in that space. In the space of stewardship and governance, we had a winner there. I've also not seen him around, but we can be able to appreciate him in absentia as well. So drum rolls for Mr. Dennis Orengo. I have not seen him, but Dennis Orengo was our winner in the category of stewardship and governance. He looks forward to a world that is free of human rights violations and suffering. He's a human rights defender. He advocates against extrajudicial killing and child trafficking. He co-founded Madare Social Center, which has grown into many other social centers. So let's appreciate Mr. Dennis Orengo. And in our final category of economic impacts, we didn't have a runners-up, but we had a winner. Drum rolls for our winner in this category. And those drum rolls are for one Mr. George Washuri. Gabriel, help me pass the awards. Oh, I think a win for Mr. Washuri is a win for Optiven. So congratulations, Mr. Washuri. Oh, they have owned the stage, and you have to listen to them. Congratulations. So Mr. Washuri believes in transforming lives economically and socially. So apart from economically, he also wants us to transform socially. And he's looking to redeem people's trust in real estate. I'm sure the last story he gave about giving people back their checks had something to do with redeeming the name of the real estate, which he's doing pretty well. And of course, he's also looking for poverty reduction through employment, environmental sustainability through Go Green, and providing mentorship. He does quite a lot, through authoring, to inspire possibilities across generations. Thank you, Mr. Washuri, for showing us there can be purpose within business. Last but not least, I want us to appreciate our patron, Mr. Gabriel, for championing the purpose verse. So, Mr. Gabriel, karibu. Mr. Washuri, do me the honor of awarding Mr. Nyamu. Oh, Monica, why are you forgetting where you belong? Thank you very much, Mr. Nyamu, for championing purpose. You have made it possible. It's been a journey. You have pulled all of us and forced us to remember that we need to live for purpose. So he's our purpose coach. He's our transformational coach. He transforms our mindset. And this time he wants us to transform our mindsets from just doing things automatically without thinking much to doing it with a purpose. And once we find that purpose, our heart settles, our mind settles, and we can wait to go to heaven. Happy people with something to show that we actually did something. So thank you very much. Let's congratulate all our winners for the day. We are grateful that you are championing purpose, because without you, then you wouldn't have much to show for it. So we want to request all our winners who we have awarded today to take a step here as we celebrate them. Yes, or with your awards. Please come here with your awards. You can give us something. Please come here with your awards so that we see you. We want to celebrate you. You can also share notes on our purpose lives. Let's see you. Just passing them. Cameras ready.
To Jehovah, for he has done so very much for me.
Well done. Appreciation. It has been used.
For he has done so very much for me.
One more. This one was too hard. You can help her. Or you try. Congratulations to all the winners. You can take back your seats. Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, kindly take your photo. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much, everyone. Congratulations to all the awardees. We are grateful that you found it necessary to submit, to give us your submissions, and to trust us with the process to be able to award you. And we hope it was as transparent as possible, and that we'll be willing to come back next year and give our submissions and let us appreciate more purposeful lives that are being driven out there. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Let's appreciate the winners once more. If you have never won an award, you have no idea how good it feels. Eh? You know, it is so gratifying. Yeah? So it feels very good to actually win an award. Now, I know I'm standing between you and your dinner, and we're going to get to that very shortly. I want to borrow your about 7 minutes to finish this. Then we are just going to cut cake, but not, and then it will be served as we eat. See, that's fair. Yes. Right. So I want to ask anyone in the room who is still wondering what their purpose is. It is good to be honest with yourself. Who is in the room and is still wondering what their purpose is? I will give you 2 minutes to think. Who in the room is still wondering what their purpose is? Hey, by the way, you need to lift your hand. You never know what is in store for you. Hey. All right. Eish, Gabriel, who are these people you invited? They all know their purpose. This is amazing. Optiven, nyi wote mnajua purpose yenu? Si ya Optiven. Personal. Si yako. Awa. Yeah? On this table, what was Isaiah? Isaiah. Everyone you're seated with knows their purpose. You're mentoring them to find it. Okay, so they already have them. Okay, Carrie's table. What? Namona muinui mkono jameni. Munajaribu? Kuna aibu ya kusema hamuna? Mary's table. Anyone who doesn't know their purpose? Richard? Grace's table. Grace Mandela. Everyone there knows their purpose? Kuna wengine wenyewe hata sura tu inaniambia, but juja inua mkono shauri yako. This table, you all know your purpose? And are you serving it? Maybe the question is whether you are serving. Which table did I ruka? Gabriel's table. Hao watu wako na awards, wacha niachane na hiyo. There's that table. You guys know your purpose. So, you know your purpose. To talk to Gabriel to give you 30 minutes free session, but because you are as you said, no one lifted their hand. Okay, she has, Gabriel, 30 minutes of your time for her to discover her purpose. Her hand has been like this. Granted. Let's appreciate her. You know, courage starts by showing up, and the other courage starts by lifting your hand. The third courage starts by keeping your chin up, even when things are not going as they should. Are we ready for cake? Ladies? Okay. Kerry, you can sort that out for me as we figure out. So I want us to be on our feet as we sort out this cake business. I want us to be on our feet. By the way, we became #1 hashtag on Twitter. We were actually #1 and 2. PurposeFest was #1. Redemptive Purpose #2. So yay! So you guys are awesome, awesome, awesome human beings. We're good? Okay, so cake is coming. And as we wait for cake, I want you to just walk around. Just walk around and so do not say anything. Just walk around and think to yourself. Historia. Tunaenda wapi leo? All this knowledge you've gathered. What are you going to do from today? What are you going to do from today? Just walk around for 1 minute. And do not talk to anyone. I'm not saying you talk. I'm just saying you walk around. I know you think in the shower, but you can do that tomorrow or when you get home. And if you're like Sila, he thinks closer to the cake. The closer the cake, the better. So I want you to think to yourself, where are you taking this? 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Now I said do not talk to people and everyone is talking to everyone. Okay. All right. Let's sit. Let's have a seat. Let's have our seats. Let's have our seats. And allow me to also get a minute to appreciate our panelists. Our panelists, we appreciate you for taking your time to be with us. Thank you very much. And we have a small token of appreciation for you. So I want to ask Richard, come, and I want to upako ya George Washweri kukujie. You know you stay with winners, you become one. And you know you're a winner as well, actually. He's an award-winning HR. Lakini ya social impact, ya economic impact. So please, a token of appreciation, or rather, a package of appreciation for our panelists, Mr. George Washuri. Where mtu wa video? So thank you, Mr. Washuri, for taking your time to be here and sharing in your knowledge. Asante sana. Let's appreciate Richard. And then I will call upon, who will I call upon? The lady who's just won 30 minutes free with the, come, we need to document this, eh? And I want to, upako ya papa sikukujie. Please come and award Pastor Sila. Thank you very much for taking your time and being here. We appreciate you. Asante sana for sharing your experiences, and for me personally for being a PK. Life is thank you so much. Excellent. All right, and because I know people, Grace Mandela, you cannot miss this one. Tutatweet nini Toastmasters. Hey, come and award Modoni. An appreciation package to you for sharing your experiences and your knowledge. Yeah. Eh, utafika? Sawa. Congratulations. She's also a PK and a wife to a PK, to a pastor. So, tuna yu pako iko mingi. Right. It's too, you know. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Asante sana. Thank you, Grace. And finally, this lady, come and give this one to Gabriel. Where is Kelly's? Oh, Jennifer. Thank you. Karibu sana. And Gabriel, please come on stage. You might want to go up. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gabriel, for even thinking this. Thank you for serving your purpose. Asante, do you have something else? Okay. So I wanted to appreciate Kerry. You know I'm those ones. Yes, Kerry, come on stage. Come. Hiyo kizungu yote umeongea hapa. Atatusumbua, imagine, mpaka ako na entrance. Wacha nikutafutie mtu mwenye atakupatia. Yes, come. This gentleman here in a very nice jacket. Yes. Moses. Yes, Moses. Thank you very much. Thank you for riding all the way here. Kerry, thank you for harassing us on the road. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Let's get this cake going. And I want to welcome our Purpose gentlemen and all the winners of tonight to join us, and we need to cut this cake. Please don't come with your spouses. You applied on this one alone. So Oh wait, your spouses can be hapa nyuma. No, I am not separating nothing. You can stand here. So if you have won an award today, please join Mr. Gabriel. Oh, the other winners are not here. Excellent, excellent. I need help. Rosemary.
Kata keki kata keki kata hiyo keki tamu kata kubwa kubwa kata kubwa kubwa hiyo keki tamu kata kubwa kata kubwa hiyo keki tamu kata.
Haya, hiyo keki imekatika sasa. Simekata sasa. Thank you very much. I want you come baby, come. Where is the other child? I've seen a child here. I should have seen you guys before. Hii macho yangu nimefunga. Come here. There was another baby. I had seen another child. Kama ulikuja na children walete. Asanteni sana. These are the future purpose leaders. We appreciate you. Asanteni. Nyinyi keki mtakula huko kwingine na sisi. Asante sana. So at this point, allow me to welcome Monica to give a vote of thanks because we want to go and eat.
I'm Monica Gabriel, and I'm so happy to see all of you here. This Tasema is more than a dream come true. For me to see this wonderful man doing this, it overwhelms my heart. And for you all to be here to support him, it says a lot. And to see the years that he has put in to make this a reality. I remember this morning I was telling him, if grit is a person, then it is him. There are so many reasons why this would not have happened, but because of the conviction he has, the conviction I've seen for so many years, since the day he chose to resign and follow his God-given purpose, to this day, I can say that whatever you believe in, if you put your heart into it, and if you always involve God in it, it will come to pass. Have a dream, fold your sleeve, get to work, and don't forget God. So my first vote of thanks goes to you for championing this and for placing this hope in people's hearts that more than to share your success, because we learn more from the failures, and it encourages us that we also can make it. As you are sharing your story and saying you have done 15 businesses and they have failed, I was thinking, nimefanya ngapi so far? That one. Hata sijafika 5. So I'm encouraged. And the fact that now I feel that I've finally found the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, and thinking that before, when I was on the 3rd one, I was thinking, oh no, I think I should tafuta a job, and but as you said, values, they are very important. The values you stand for as a person and as a family, they comes in handy. So thank you so much for sharing your lives with us. And for the rest of us, thank you so much for being here, for supporting this vision. And I'm hoping that we have not just been inspired, but transformed. For transformation lasts. Inspiration may stay for a few days, then you're no longer inspired. But when you're transformed, it moves from the inside and we see it on the outside. So I do believe you are transformed. And to all our winners, congratulations. And to everybody else, we are all winners. Go win in your sphere of influence. The Lord bless you all.
You see, you did well. You know, I said Monica and she was like, guy. Let's appreciate her. You know, public speaking should be 800 of ways to die. Entrepreneurship is 1,000 ways to die. Public speaking is 800. It is not easy. So at this point, I want to request Mr. Isaiah, who has won the spiritual to come and pray for food and journey masses, because as we eat, we network, we take photos, as we live at own pleasure. Kuna mtu anakuambia ukimbie. So network as much as you can, eat as much as you can. Okay, just 1 second.
Sorry, not to sit between you and the dinner, but just to make a quick announcement. Every year, moving forward, I want you to put this in the calendar as of now. Every year, we have branded the month of October as the International Month of Redemptive Purpose. So we already celebrated it actually the whole of the month of October. For those who are near us, we were actually doing a lot of work around the whole month of October. Now we want to take it to the group to the nation. So I think we always celebrate it from abroad. They are given to us. Now we have a whole month, International Month of Redemptive Purpose. Then 12th of October will be the International Day of Redemptive Purpose. Go with that because you can almost diarize right now. In 2023, we are going to get into this again. God bless you.
Kaa kwanza. Mr. Rogers, you know you sat on the high table and we have not even allowed you to say one word to the congregants or to the attendees. Shida ya kukua mtoto wa pastor.
Bwana asifiwe. Yeah, congratulations, Gabriel. Today I just came to sit and enjoy, and I've really been blessed. So thank you for making this day very successful to all of us. We fellowship with Gabriel in a group we call ourselves Christian Chief Executives. And among us here, we have, of course, Washuru is a member, Frida is a member, Elizabeth is a member, Mary is a member, Gabriel is a member. So you can see we are very well represented. So congratulations. Thank you.
Asante sana. I want to know how to join that one. I also want to be... mimi ni CEO. All right. Mr. Isaiah. Na usiombe kubwa sana.
Thank you so much. Just allow me for just 1 minute. I want to give a testimonial, just one. When 2010 August, I had come back from a program. I had volunteered with Fellowship of Christian Unions. And I had done the STEM program for 1 year, and then I was seconded to Norway. So when I came back, I didn't have a place to stay. So I moved into Gabriel's house. Okay? And so around that time, I was battling out with what I wanted to do with young people. So I told him my passion about young people and about leaders and the unreached people groups. And we were just discussing around what I could do with them. So in his house, we just had started a fellowship at Ruaka. It was a young fellowship. A couple of his neighbors had been invited to that meeting. And he asked me if I could put a program that I could train the Ruaka team as the first cohort. Okay? Now, I don't know if he knows that, but that program that we put then, we called it Discovery Training Course. That program produced those guys behind you and the organization. And that program has birthed at least about 18 businesses. And several organizations as well. But it also became the flagship program for all that I do today. And I'm so grateful that that God brought him my way. And I remember that time he said to me, I was in my 20s, I was very young then, but I was very ambitious and zealous. And he said, it is good for you to know who you are and what God wants or has put you on this planet to do. And then to find a good mentor and to launch a startup. I'm not sure if he even remembers that. But I say the same words to all the classes I graduate. I have graduated more than maybe 10, 15 cohorts, at least 2 or 3 every year since 2010. And it's been amazing to be able to do that. And so I just want to thank God that he brought him my way, and to just tell all of us that are here that I think this is timely. And we can put our weight behind it and support this man and support this dream. Stand up, let us pray. I had to escape from his house. He loved me so much that he didn't want me to go, so I waited for him to go to work, and then nilihama kama ako kazini. Because I don't think he thought I was ready yet. He liked to cushion us a lot. Those young people that he was raising, and I'm grateful to be a part of that. So Gabriel, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for investing in my life. Amen. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for a great event you gave us here tonight. Thank you for all of us that came. Thank you for all that we have experienced here. We are grateful. We thank you for your servant, Gabriel, and all the people that have made this to work, the entire team. We bless them. We are grateful, Lord. And now we thank you for food. We receive it with thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you.
Huyo apigiwe makofi juu ya kuomba hivi. Amehubiri kwanza ndio akaomba. And all is welcome. So allow me to say this. Thank you very much for being here. I was your host, Grace Nzula. I run a program called Get It Right with Atara Solutions. We train people for free every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please tune in. We have been doing this since June 2020, and we are still on it. And it has, I think, created impact than we ever thought about. We have hosted Frida, we've hosted Gabriel, we have hosted quite a number of people. You can check out our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And I hope to host you and everyone else who has any impact to impact. Have yourselves a lovely evening and enjoy.